Yeah, I think there's probably two parts to that, Neil. I think, look, we all know we had to get into the playoffs. We had to get into the Champions Cup. You know, that's the expectation that comes with Munster, rightly so. So I think it was really important that we drew a line under that first, and we're delighted. And you're right, we put an awful lot into that physically, mentally, and particularly emotionally in that last 2 weeks. And there was so much to be pleased about with those last 2 weeks. Since then, what we did is, we did train the down week, but we had a light day on the Tuesday. We connected, again, I suppose reconnected or refocused on what we wanted to get out of it, and then it was a 10-day run into the final. So we had 2 excellent days training, Thursday and Friday, which sets us up for this week. And now we've had a long travel, so we'll get 2 more opportunities to get onto the grass. And being honest, yeah, we're here to, we've gone 1 game at a time for the last while, and that served us well. We know again that there's a trophy at stake, so we're going to have a real good crack at this weekend. They're a serious side, as we know, and a very, very tough place to go and play them. But absolutely, Neil, we achieved what we needed to achieve in the last 2 weeks. Is a whole new, fresh challenge. Huge, and look, I suppose you go back 6 months and our availability wasn't where we would have liked it to be. There was a lot of challenges, a lot of change at the club, and we probably didn't have a deep squad to select from those early games, and that's what's so pleasing about where we're at now. The squad is really competitive, and again, that comes out in selection, but it also comes out in training every day. So it means every single training session is better. People are really driven to perform in training. They know that training matters, and there's just probably 26, 28 guys that are really, really competitive to make it 23 and even to make it 15 at the moment. So I think that drives standards right across the board, and delighted, yeah, bar a couple of players, we're in a pretty good position in terms of health of our squad this week. And like we've had 2 weeks, and that really helps. So we started our prep early, so we've had a real deep look at what the Sharks are about, their identity, their DNA. It's pretty clear. They light up off transition. They're really good in broken play because they have individuals that can really hurt you. And then what they have is a level of physicality, particularly around their set piece. That means they've got a real rounded game. So we know them really well. We've looked at their last half dozen games, as we always do, but a huge amount of focus has been on us, Tom, if I'm honest. Look at how we've improved over the last period, and how we've managed 2 very, very high pressure games. So I suppose essentially we're into the 3rd knockout game in a row now, because effectively that's what it was. So we've extracted a lot of our learnings around that. That adds confidence to the group, and it keeps the focus on who we are and what we do well as well.
Being honest, it hasn't been something that's been mentioned. It's 2 years ago. The team is different. I suppose a few of us do have a few reference points that we can look back on and refer to. But yeah, like you said, excuse me, we're kind of taking the game as it is this week, and we take every week by week now. The last 2 games that we've had, essentially were knockout games for us. We weren't in the best position in the URC, so that's kind of the way we treated them. So this week will be no different. To be honest, it was actually probably handy that Ireland was quite hot the last few weeks. It was potentially hotter in Ireland than it was today here in Durban. So look, I suppose hopefully that'll play into our hands a tiny bit, that we've had a bit of an adaptation maybe to some hot weather. But yeah, you said the humidity and stuff, the ball can maybe be a bit slippy and stuff. So trying to work with that and balance the conditions. It can be quite windy here as well. So look, it'll definitely be a challenge, but nothing that we haven't played in before.
Oh, it's been awesome. South Africa is such a cool place, and it's so cool just coming away to another country with the lads, and you just get to spend so much time together. So we had a good day today. The travel is always, obviously, long haul travel's a bit tough, and been split into 2 groups, we're a bit separated, but we all made it here safely, and there's a good vibe around the place, so it's been good. Yeah, it's been a bit tough, to be honest, personally. Probably one of the more interesting years for myself in my career so far, around, I guess, continuity in playing, and then trying to be consistent in my performance. Like getting injured first round after I felt I had a good pre-season, and then tearing my hamstring Been out for 10 weeks, and then you're kind of in that Six Nations block where you've got a game and then you've got maybe a week off, 2 weeks off, playing with different people, new combinations. So it has actually been really challenging, but I guess looking back on it now, the amount that I've learned from that has been huge to take forward for myself. But the last kind of few games that I've been able to string together, like that always gives you confidence as a rugby player in terms of this week and then going forward, just building those minutes and the combinations and relationships on the field. You can't really beat that. So good learnings, but I'm happy where I'm at the moment.